Tav X, Hebrews, purity and becoming one. The book of Daniel, chapter 12, verse 4. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously through the book, and knowledge of God's purposes as revealed by his prophets shall be increased and become great. All I can say when I read that and when I think about that is, wow. What a time to be alive. What a time for the Most High to be turning his face back to us after 400 years. This latest big boom in this Israelite awakening, it started right at the end of 2019, before the boogeyman came to town and shut the whole earth down. Things ain't been the same since. The Most High God has been downloading information to his people at an astonishing rate. Sometimes you don't even know how you was able to understand some of the stuff that you finally come to understand. Some of the scriptures and the verses that we maybe even grew up with as a child, as a kid in school, or as a young child in church. You grew up with the brainwashing doctrines of religion. All religions are wicked. Every single one of them are wicked, because they stole the heritage of the Hebrews and turned it into a religion and added in all of their lies. But the Most High God is turning his face back to us, and he is turning information loose at an astonishing rate. I remember being a small child. I remember being a kid, a young huckabuck, growing up in the Christian church, just like everybody else out there. Just like most of y'all out there. Sound confirmation. And for those of you who don't know, sound confirmation is a form of divination. For those of you who don't know, I understand that now. And I didn't learn about sound confirmation at no school, never read about it in no book. You know how I read about it? In my soul. The Most High showed it to me. He kept revealing it to me, bringing it into my face. And I saw it so many times. No matter, you know what's so crazy though? No matter how many times I see it, it never gets old. And I know some people, I try to point it out to them and they say, man, I don't believe in that. It doesn't matter if you believe in it or not. That's the thing. But you know, if you don't know, you don't know. Many of you out there, and myself at one time, I could not see past all of the walls, all of the traps, all of the lies. Because soon as you uncover one lie, it's 5 or 6 more lies right there to try to back up the other lie that you just uncovered. It can be a lot of work. And that's why some people don't even bother. Y'all remember that scene on The Matrix? That dude said he knew the life he was living wasn't real, but he didn't care. He didn't want to wake up from the dream. He knew it wasn't real, but he preferred to stay asleep. That's heavy. Again, Daniel chapter 12 and verse 4. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously through the book, and knowledge of God's purposes as revealed by his prophets shall be increased and become great. Are we not witnessing that in these end times? This is us. We are worldwide. God's chosen people who are the Israelites, y'all. We are worldwide. And now, just like this says, we are searching through the book anxiously, and knowledge of God's purposes as revealed by his prophets shall be increased and become great. Are we not witnessing that in live time for Hebrews? Sometimes it is literally mind-blowing. I remember, like I said, I remember hearing this scripture when I was a child, multiple times. Knowledge would increase, men would run to and fro. I had no idea the depth of this verse. I had no idea that I would be where I am today. I heard this verse as a child numerous times. Now tonight, as I'm reading this to y'all, all the scriptures are hitting in a different way. Why? Again, Daniel 12 and 4. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously. Do y'all know what that means, to search anxiously? That means many are going to be picking up the scriptures and searching like their life is literally in the balance, on the line, to be decided in the next 5 minutes or so. That's how people are running to these scriptures right now. I got to start that over again. Daniel 12 and 4, y'all. Meditate on this, family. Daniel 12 and 4. Again, but you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Then, when? Then. What? When is then? The time of the end. Then many shall run to and fro. Nah, just a handful of people. Then many shall run to and fro. Nah, just one or two. Just me and a couple of the homeboys. Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously through the book, and knowledge of God's purposes as revealed by his prophets shall be increased and become great. Do y'all see that? God's purposes as revealed by his prophets shall be increased and become great. You know what that means, fam? That means that you're not going to stay in the same spot forever. You're going to be growing like crazy. Not just a little bit, like crazy. What did it say? Again, Daniel 12 and 4. I want y'all to go to bed on this one tonight. Meditate on this one tonight. Daniel 12 and 4. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Then, when? Then many shall run to and fro. No, just one or two. Then many shall run to and fro. Nah, bruh. Just me and a couple of my closest associates. Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously. Yo, they're searching like their life is literally going to be decided whether they're going to live or they're going to die immediately. That's how people are searching through the scriptures right now. And knowledge of God's purposes as revealed by his prophets. You know what that means? The testimony of the Old Testament. Not what I say, not what you say, not what your pastor say, not what your teachers say, not what the Pope says. God's purposes as revealed by his prophets shall be increased. You know what that means, fam? That means in the end times, the knowledge according to what God's purposes is, according to what his prophets has said, is going to get increased and become great. So the knowledge that's coming out right now in these end times is going to increase every day, and it's going to become great. Some people out there, they've heard this verse before, but there's something holding them back. I'm telling you, family, if you actually believe that this is the end times and your knowledge is not increasing, and I'm not going to lie, knowledge is increasing rather quickly. Rather quick. I mean, it's like almost an overload. If you are somebody out there and right now, you say that it's the end times, but your knowledge is not expanding rapidly, something is holding you back. Because if you believe this is the end times, here it is again, Daniel 12 and 4. I know it's the end times. Daniel 12 and 4. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously through the book, and knowledge of God's purposes as revealed by his prophets shall be increased and become great. And how about this? Hop up the verse before that, verse 3. And the teachers and those who are wise shall shine like the brightness of the firmament. And those who turn many to righteousness, to uprightness and right standing with God shall give forth light like the stars forever and ever. We reading out of the Amplified version tonight. Do y'all see that, fam? As a child growing up in the so-called Christian church, I heard that verse a million times. And everybody knows how the Christian church put their spin on everything. But all those times as a child, hearing that verse, never in a million years did I understand what I understand today. And now that verse hits in a whole nother way. It's been hitting in a whole nother way for the last couple of years. But now, I'm talking today, right now as we on this live stream, Daniel 12:4 is hitting in a whole nother way these days. And I'm getting ready to let y'all go, but I just gotta tell y'all what I saw earlier today, y'all. And then I'm gonna let y'all go. The Most High shows signs and wonders in the skies, in the heavens. Okay? All those lights up there in the heavens in the sky, the sun, the moon, the stars, all of that. Any one of those can and they have been used for signs and wonders in seasons, all kind of stuff. Early this morning, y'all, I was out. I went live for like a couple of minutes because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. And for real, that camera didn't do it justice. Early this morning. Now, of course, my mind is just telling me that this is the sun because this thing was super bright orange. Y'all saw, anybody who saw that live I did early this morning, you saw it was super bright orange, right? And it was early in the morning. Now, of course, my mind wants to tell me that this was the sun. But here's the thing. I was staring at this thing for about, and this was when I wasn't recording, okay? I was staring at this thing for a couple of minutes straight, okay? With zero irritation to my eyes. Now let that one sink in, okay? I've never been able to look at the sun for a couple of minutes straight. I don't care how early in the morning it is. I've never been able to look at the sun barely for a couple of seconds straight, let alone a couple of minutes. I was staring this thing down this morning and I didn't have not even the slightest bit irritation in my eyes. So that was throwing me off. I was like, how am I able to stare at this bright orange ball for minutes in a row, barely not blinking, not even feeling any resistance in my eye? Now, as I'm looking at this thing, y'all, if I'm lying, I'm dying. The same way somebody will turn a knob in their house to brighten their light or to dim their light, that orange sun or orange bulb, whatever it was, it started doing that. I watched this thing. Hey, fam, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I watched this thing go from brighter to darker to lighter, like somebody was turning it up, turning it down, turning it up, turning it down. And I'm looking at that thing like in a total state of disbelief. Once again, if I'm lying, I'm dying. I would not make this up. So then as it's doing this thing, you know, it'll get brighter and then it'll turn back down and then it'll get brighter. I'm sitting out here in the parking lot looking around, wondering why nobody else is seeing this or paying attention to this, right? It went brighter, darker, and then it went brighter, and then it turned back down, right? So now I'm really staring at this thing. I'm like, yo, I cannot believe this. I've never seen nothing like this. And then that ain't the craziest thing, fam. If I'm lying, I'm dying. Once it had turned down some, but it's still up there bright orange, right? But now my mind is starting to mess with me. Because I'm like, first of all, I ain't never seen the sun do nothing like this before. Second of all, I've never been able to stir the sun down for multiple minutes, and I didn't even feel the slightest irritation in my eyes. My mind is really going crazy, right? And then I watched it go brighter, go dimmer, go brighter, go dimmer. Now here's the craziest part. When it was in the dimmest state, it turned down to a little bit dimmer, right? And that's what made me go back to thinking, is this a blood moon or something? Because I'm like, hold up, there's no way the sun can be this dim. Fam, I've never seen nothing like this. And when it was in that state, if I'm lying, I'm dying. Now I'm really staring at this thing now because I'm trying to figure out what the hell is going on. If I'm lying, I'm dying. I saw a cloud moving around. I'm not going to say it was racing around, but it was moving around very fast inside of, I don't know whether this thing was the sun, the moon. I don't know what this thing, y'all, what this thing was. I got it on film this morning. Y'all can go and watch the live. A couple of minutes I did early this morning. Now, of course, my mind is telling me that it was the sun because it was bright orange and it was in the sky. It was like perfectly round. And I was staring this thing down for a couple of minutes, y'all. And I did not turn away, and my eyes were not irritated at all. And that's what made me say, hold up. This can't be the sun. I can't do nothing like this. And then it started going brighter, darker, like somebody was playing with a switch. And then when it went darker, I'm in a total trance looking at this because I can't believe I'm seeing this. And then that's when I saw that cloud inside of the sun or whatever that was. And it was moving very fast. Now look, obviously it can't go but so far because it was inside of the sun. Y'all, I'm not lying. I sat there and watched this cloud. That's the only way I could describe it. It was like a gray cloud, and it was moving around very, very fast and vigorously inside of the sun. And look, family, I know this sounds ridiculous. It sounds impossible and ridiculous. It sounded that way to me, and I was right there witnessing this thing. And look, sitting right out in the 7-Eleven parking lot, and nobody else noticed it. Nobody else was looking. And I even took time to remember, looked around to see, is anybody seeing this? Nope, nobody looking up. I'm the only one out there in the 7-Eleven parking lot seeing this. It was a literal cloud moving around inside the sun, and it was moving very fast and vigorously. I'm talking, this thing was conscious. That's what I'm trying to get the point across to y'all, fam. This cloud was alive. That's the best way I can describe it, y'all. This thing was moving fast, vigorous, and it was moving around inside of that sun. Or if that was a blood moon, fam, at this point, I ain't gonna lie. I jumped back and forth between thinking that was the sun, the moon, the sun, the moon. And then one of our brothers came in here earlier, J.R. Meadows, and he said, man, that's the red Kachina, dog. I don't know if any of you guys and gals are familiar with the red Kachina. It's a sign of the end, if that's what that is. Hey, speak of J.R. Meadows, here he is. What's good, bruh? J.R. Meadows says, thumbs up, people. Upon entering, please. That's right, fam. Hit that like button as y'all enter the door, fam. J.R. Meadows says, bro, keep bringing it. I'm trying my best, brother. J.R. Meadows says, red Kachina? I think so, because when I saw a planet in 22, it was blood grapefruit color. Hey, you know what? That's that scary stuff right there. I ain't gonna lie. You know what time it is when you seeing stuff like that. King David says, it's a lot in this universe realm we don't know. Hey, King David, you ain't lying, bro. It's a lot in this realm we don't know. And I'm telling y'all right now, if I'm lying, I'm dying, family. I sat in 7-Eleven parking lot and I watched this thing. I told y'all it was like somebody was turning you know how you be in the house and somebody want to brighten the light or dim the light and they'll turn the little knob whichever way they want to go. It was like somebody was doing that. And when it got turned down to the lower light state, I could see that cloud clear as day. It was still bright, but it was turned down low enough. Peep that out. Imagine what was going through my mind, y'all. This thing was still bright, but it got turned down low enough for me to see all the way inside. And to see a cloud, that's the best way I could describe. A cloud was moving around inside of the sun or whatever that was, very fast and very vigorously. That cloud was alive. And I knew that cloud had consciousness. I can't tell you how I knew. I'm just telling y'all what happened, y'all. I'm just as surprised as anybody else who's hearing this. And trust me, I know it sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds crazy. I started not to even come on here and tell y'all about that. My original thing coming on here real quick was to bring out Daniel 12 and 4. I hadn't even planned on telling y'all about that because I was like, man, that don't sound too crazy, man. Ain't nobody gonna believe it. Nothing like that. Because it sounds ridiculous. And I know it sounds ridiculous, but it is true. That's exactly what I saw this morning, y'all. And I was the only one sitting in the parking lot watching this. Nobody else was around. Nobody else was watching. And I was in the hood. Crazy, y'all. King David says, why it's good to get heavy on this fruit. I believe that gamma radiation is real and that will be the power boost for us or literally cook you. I believe that's what that ark was carrying, gamma. Hey, King David, you definitely could be on to something right there, King David. Definitely, bro. J.R. Meadows says people worldwide seen it too. Wow, J.R. Meadows. That's crazy, bro. I'm telling y'all, I cannot believe this, y'all. First of all, what am I doing being able to stare at the sun? And that's what definitely made me think that that wasn't the sun. But you know, when you look up in the sky, you see something big and bright orange. Of course you think it's the sun. Then I start thinking, hold up, maybe it's the blood moon. Then I'm like, hold up, that ain't no bloom. The moon don't get that. I mean, it was just crazy. And then when I saw that cloud, y'all, that cloud was alive, y'all. It wasn't sitting there. That cloud was moving very fast, moving very vigorously, just moving all over the place inside of the sun. And I'm sitting in there with my jaw probably on the floor, looking at this. If I wouldn't have seen it for myself, I wouldn't believe it, y'all. And like King David said, there are many things in this universe, y'all, we've yet to find out. This world ain't nothing like what they told us. They lied about everything, y'all. Oh my gosh. King David says, and do touch unprepared and turn to dust. Yeah, it's not a game. It is not a game, King David. And this world is nothing like what they told us, y'all. King David says, while Moses had to fast and do a serious detox, when he went face to face with Yah, he too powerful of energy to pull up on, even if you righteous. Facts. Facts. They even say this is certain angels that the angels are like even terrified of the Most High. Certain angels can't even look upon him. Like the Most High is nothing to play with at all. At all. That's why we fear the Most High over here. And when I was up to this morning, when I was looking up there, looking at whatever that was up there, and that probably was the red Katina, like J.R. Meadows say. I know something was off with that joint. Because I shouldn't be able to stare at the sun for multiple minutes without barely even having to blink. And I should have had some kind of irritation to my eyes. I was staring that joint down enough that I could see all of that. And then when I saw that cloud running around inside of there, I was like, yo, you have got to be, am I really seeing this right now? And I sure enough was. It was something to see too, I ain't gonna lie. Again, and then I'll let y'all go. Daniel 12 and 4. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously through the book, and knowledge of God's purposes as revealed by his prophets shall be increased and become great. Hey family, we are all witnessing that in these end times, y'all. And as I was saying earlier, fam, we in the end times right now. If you are somebody and you actually believe we in the end times, then that means your knowledge should be growing. I mean, it should be growing heavy. Because it says, knowledge of God's purposes as revealed by his prophets shall be increased and become great. That means not like everybody else. Increased and become great. Knowledge of God's purposes. What is God's purposes? That Israel returns to him and him only. He is our source of life. Without Yahweh, there is no life. He is our source of strength and power. And that goes for physical power and spiritual power. The knowledge is busting out of the seams. If Daniel was alive on the earth today, Daniel would be rejoicing. Because some of this stuff he wrote, he didn't even understand. Because it wasn't all for him. Daniel wrote for us. Daniel wrote so that we could come on this live stream and read this tonight and then go to sleep and meditate on it. And see what the Most High do to you while you sleep, while you tossing Daniel 12:4 around in your soul, in your spirit. Because your soul and your spirit don't go to sleep. Your body goes to sleep. When you go to sleep, you're actually going into the spirit realm, Hebrew. See, this is deep right here. And look, somebody you hear me talking like that. See, sorcery, new age, If you understand Daniel 12:4, I'm going to read it again. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously through the book. And knowledge of God's purposes as revealed by his prophets shall be increased and become great. That means in the last days, in the end times, people are going to frantically be reaching for the scriptures. And when they do, the truth is going to come out in large doses, large amounts, overwhelming in righteousness. And it's going to become what? Increased and become great. Family, if you were unaware, we are in that time right now. It's happening in live time. We got Brother Joshua the Levite. Brother Joshua the Levite says at Mr. Real Talk, Tavex. Tavex to you, Brother Joshua the Levite. Always good to see you, brother. Always good to see King David. Always good to see J.R. Meadows. And it's always good to see all of the brothers and the sisters. I love y'all. King David says, facts. It's a puzzle for the bloodline to solve, and we so focus on the failed and repeating it than looking at the success. They want us to follow with a crab mindset. We can't be like that. That's right, King David. King David says, because of the name and weight they hold, their whole purpose is to get the nation on one accord like them or even better. Facts, King David. Facts. Family, I want y'all to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And as you go to sleep tonight, I know we out on the East Coast. See, for an East Coast guy like me, it's already late because I got to get up super duper duper early in the morning. I'm on the East Coast, baby. Where I'm at right now, it's 9:13. And that's pretty, that's late when you got to get up as early as I do. But for, we got brothers like Joshua the Levite out there holding it down on the West Kizos. On the West Coast, I'm I guess it's like 6:13, 6:14 or something. So it might not necessarily be time to go to bed out there on the West Coast. In fact, the sun is probably shining like crazy out there. Niggas might even be out there playing basketball right now on the West Coast. Joshua the Levi says, at Mr. Real Talk, 3 hour difference, fam. Okay. Okay, yeah, so it's like 6:14 out there. Okay. Plenty of sunshine. King David says, same here. I have to get up at 3 and it's 8:14 a.m. for me. Got you, King David. Oh, you mean 9:14? 9:14, King David? And I know I should be in bed passed out right now. I should be. But you know what? Something said, you know what? Come on here and just tap on this Daniel 12:4 for a little bit. And it'll be fresh in my mind tonight. And it'll be fresh in somebody else's mind out there tonight. And we can meditate on these things. Meditate on these scriptures. Like I said, fam, when you go to sleep at night, your soul does not go to sleep. Your body goes to sleep, but you go off into the spirit realm. King David says 8:14 in Texas, my bad. Okay, so y'all, you 1 hour behind East Coast. Hey, King David, what they call that in Texas? Is that what they call Central Time? Is Texas in Central Time? Because you're 8:14, so you 1 hour behind East Coast. Is Texas Central Time? Okay, Joshua Levi said that's Central. Okay, got it. But yeah, fam, I want y'all to meditate on that tonight, man. Meditate on that always. And that's another way the Most High is going to really tighten us up. King David says, yeah. Okay. That's another way the Most High going to really tighten us up, y'all. Meditating. You know what I'm saying? Really, you can just take one verse or a couple of verses and just keep on thinking about them, keep on saying them. You can say them out loud, but even when you're not saying them out loud, saying them inside, saying it in your heart, in your spirit. Audible, nobody can hear it but you, but it's still audible. It's powerful, especially meditating on the precepts, meditating on the Psalms, meditating on Daniel 12:4. And you'll be surprised what that will do to you. I'm going to start making a conscious effort to do that too, especially when I feel myself falling asleep. Because like I said, when you go to sleep, your body goes to sleep, but your soul and your spirit is wide awake. And not only that, they're actually on the move. Your soul and your spirit go somewhere else. That's why when somebody trying to wake up and they're in a deep sleep, that's why it'd be so hard to pull them back in sometimes. It'd be hard to pull somebody out of the spirit realm when they real deep in there. Because when you go to sleep, you're entering into the spirit realm. Your body is the one that needs to sleep. Your spirit and soul don't need no sleep. Your spirit, your soul got all the energy, got endless energy. That's why when you go to sleep, your spirit and your soul is off doing some other stuff, getting downloads in the spirit realm, doing only the Most High knows what we doing when we go in the spirit realm. Unless you can remember some of your dreams. And some of those dreams are not even dreams. You be thinking that they dreams. This world is nothing like what they told us, y'all. King David says, crazy when you sleep, you really dead. Your spirit is out. You still move because y'all didn't shut down both. Where your spirit is fully in the waiting room. Some terrified, some in peace, waiting on that day. Hey, King David, that's the end all be all right there, King David. And you're absolutely right. When you go to sleep, you actually kind of dead for real. That's why people say sleep is the cousin of death. Yeah. This world ain't nothing like what they told us, y'all. Every night when you go to sleep, and just think about this. Think about if we could remember. Think about if we had the ability to remember And I'm talking every night. Every night when you go to sleep and your body fully shuts down and your spirit goes wherever it goes, into the spirit realm, into the dream realm, call it what you want. Wouldn't it be something if you could literally remember every single night exactly where you was at, exactly what you was dreaming, exactly what you was doing, what you was learning? I mean, you just never know, because most people, we can't remember these things. We can't remember these things. Every now and again, we'll have a dream or something we'll remember. And sometimes we be thinking that these things are dreams. They don't be dreams, y'all. I'm telling you, these people, they're never going to be honest. Some things we're not going to be able to figure out unless the Most High gives us divine revelation. And we know it can be done. The Most High is awesome, y'all. I'm going to read this again and I'm going to let y'all go. Daniel 12:4. But you, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book until the time of the end. Then many shall run to and fro and search anxiously through the book, and knowledge of God's purposes, as revealed by his prophets, shall be increased and become great. All praises to the Most High God and him alone. Most High willing, family, I'll see y'all tomorrow evening on the live stream. Peace, family. Tav X.